Hi, I'm Jim Gordon, and you're watching Market 1 Minute. Joining us is Robert Vallis. He is the President, CEO, and Director of TIGR Gold. Robert, welcome.
Thank you, Jim. Pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you, sir. Okay, let's talk a bit about TIGR Gold. And since your listing, how has the work been on advancing the Quinchía Gold Project?
TIGR Gold has been doing very well since our listing. We now have 3 drills up and running on site, advancing the growth of our resources that we have, over 2 million ounces. We are advancing across 3 categories of drilling: infill drilling, extension drilling, and discovery drilling. We're also advancing as well with the ESG initiatives on site, specifically with community and indigenous relations. So we're moving on all fronts quite concertedly, and will be throughout the balance of 26.
And tell us from your perspective, what makes Colombia, and specifically the Quinchía district, a compelling jurisdiction for gold development?
In my opinion, and I think the opinion of many others, I see the jurisdiction that we are in, the Mid-Cauca belt, geologically it's called, within Colombia, an emerging Tier 1 jurisdiction. And by definition, that really speaks to the level of resource discovery, of scale and significant value that's been achieved throughout Colombia. Of course, as Colombia has grown and advanced as a country to facilitate its mineral industry, the framework for permitting, for taxation, the infrastructure supporting the mining industry throughout, as well as the access to skilled labor and beyond, is quite significant. And of course, the cherry on top of that is the tempered climate that Colombia offers, where it's a workable environment all year round.
And Robert, you have nearly 30 years experience as a senior mining executive. How does that background shape your approach to TIGR Gold, particularly in navigating risk, capital markets, and project execution?
That 28 years is a real balance between technical meets business. I've been fortunate to work with very large gold producers such as Barrick Gold and Yamana, long tenures with each. But also, as a mining engineer, I've afforded the knowledge and understanding of mine construction and operation to great detail across multiple jurisdictions throughout the world. Combine that with the understanding of the elements that are required that define a project of extraordinary value, the process of finding, evaluating, acquiring, advancing, developing, and building and operating such an entity is something that I'm acutely aware of. And with that, I have, of course, an exceptional team surrounding me that has a similar skill set across the industry of finding, building, and operating mines. So with that, I think we're well positioned to be able to navigate many of the challenges that are within the industry, the capital markets, and so forth. I say many times that to underscore that effort, it requires discipline. And that's something this management team brings in spades to the table, so that we understand how to move through in a very disciplined way the growth and capture and crystallization of value in the ground through the drill bit, but also our management on the side of capital markets, our financial prudence, and our exposure and storytelling with the capital markets themselves.
And Robert, as you advance Quinchía, is the strategy to build toward production, grow the resource base, or to position TIGR Gold as a potential acquisition target?
Our strategy clearly is, with us, focused on the advancement of the Quinchía project, ultimately towards a construction decision. That's through the growth and understanding of the scope and scale potential of the project, then ultimately the design and permitting of that for a construction decision. Obviously, at that point, we are prepared and will evaluate any opportunities that come forth and make the best judgment with the board of directors as to what's best for our shareholders. But until then, we are singularly focused on advancing towards a construction decision.
And Robert, finally, what specific milestones should investors look for in 2026 and beyond?
2026, you're going to be looking at the results of our infill drilling with the Tesorito deposit. We will be rebooting and reissuing an updated resource for that open pit resource. We will be bringing in the beginnings of new surface resources through Dos Quebradas and potentially with the Cibel discovery that's immediately adjacent to Tesorito. And of course, thirdly, we're making efforts, as I've said earlier, to probe at depth beneath these deposits to ultimately determine if there is any significant larger scale feeder zone type discovery potential there. And so we'll be certainly looking for those catalysts that we've already begun drilling on over the next few months.
Robert Vallis, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. A pleasure to be here.
Hi, I'm Jim Gordon. Thanks for watching this Market 1 Minute on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with other videos that we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click on this list to see other great videos from Market 1. And thank you again for watching.